that's exactly what you want on this show, right? He could have maybe taken that third round off, but he kept coming for the finish against a really tough guy. What did you think of that first fight?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's an absolute wrecking ball. I think the fight could have been stopped sooner, too. Would have liked to have seen that, but, you know, the kid Ahmad had tons of heart. You know, you tell how bad he wanted to win and how bad he wanted to stay in that fight. I mean, just the body shot, how he recovered from that and was able to stay in the first round is pretty impressive. So, yeah. But this kid, Nazim, gave him no chance. Just stayed on top of him and just kept smashing this kid until he broke him.
Next fight, you had Haiti Cohen. You said yourself to Laura that you weren't quite sure why you chose to give her a contract. Sitting here now, you've had a few minutes to digest it. Any more?
Yeah, I just there was a combination of things that I saw. Like nothing. The fight wasn't some spectacular like some of the other fights that happened here tonight. But there's something about her that I like. She's 7-2 now. She's 30 years old. It's kind of like a now or never thing. So I'm going to give her her opportunity.
In the main event, the one that I think caught everyone's eye, like, you know, full speed ahead, Esteban, just another savage lightweight for the division, right? Just another guy who likes to get in there and tear it up.
100%. I mean, the guy went right after him, and the other dude was like, "All right, you want to fucking throw down? Let's do it." They started going, and yeah, right up my alley. I love that shit. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of this night again compared to other Contender Series evenings, how would you rate this one if you gave it a letter grade? I know there's 5 contracts, but maybe, you know, Haiti's fight wasn't the most exciting. Jose's was a bit sort of swung by his backstory. How would you rate tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you come out of a show like tonight and you got a kid like Esteban that's 11-0 now and fights the way that he fights, the show was a huge success. And then we're not even talking about Claudio yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who also looked incredible tonight. His hands are so fast. You know, when that kid came out of that spinning back fist, he saw it and was right there. Not only did he land that coming out of the spinning back fist, caught him on the way down too. That's how fast and accurate that dude is. So super impressed with him. And obviously, Jose, his interview got him the contract tonight. Yeah, that's it. The fight was weird. He beat a 10-0 kid, came here the second time, laid out. It's easy to sit up here and fucking yap about what, you know, this and that and all this other stuff. You don't know where half these kids come from or what they go through or what it took for them to be here tonight. Well, he laid it out. He got me. He got me. I said, you know what? All right. I'm going to give this kid the opportunity. The rest is up to him. So I just told him when I saw him out there, good luck, kid. I hope you win a world title, and I hope all your other shit clears up, and this is you're getting the opportunity.
Is this
make the most of it.
Are you going soft in your old age?
Probably.
Is this another reason why it's important for you to go in blind, right?
100%.
You don't want to hear those stories ahead of time.
Nope. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know that this kid came from Longo and Sarah. I don't want to hear that this kid's from these guys. And I even try not to even look in the corners and see who they're with. You know what I mean? I don't even want to know. All I want to know is right here, right now. And then I don't even listen to all the interviews. I listen to some of them. I literally just happened to put the headphones on for this kid's interview, you know? Because the fight was weird and kind of, but he beat a guy that was 10-0 and has a lot of heat, you know.
He's been here before as well, right?
100%. He's been here before, second chance. I just happened to throw those headphones on and listen to his interview, and I was like, all right.
All the other fighters are going to be looking at.
Look at what I'll show you. So on every fight, I write notes on what I saw and what I think. Oh, wow. Right? I write notes on every single page. Look at what I put on this one. Big fat question mark. And then down toward the bottom, I said, Story just won the contract. So, yeah. Kid's 27, 14-7, and he's going to get us. When's the last time you saw us sign somebody that was 14-7? Yeah, it doesn't happen. Maybe a guy 14-7 gets on the Ultimate Fighter or something like that. That's it. Or maybe a guy 14-7 would have a shot. No, not even. No, not even true. So I'm giving this kid the opportunity. Let's see what he does with it.
Outside of tonight, obviously, you just had that great show in San Diego, another sellout for you guys. There's a couple of great fights on there, but the one that I was most drawn to was the fight between the two Yasmins. I thought that was like a great fight, and I think it's one of those ones where you watch two women that you think, oh, we're going to see these girls again and again. It's like the new era.
That was a glimpse into the future on Saturday night. That's what that was. 20 and 23 years old, those two. And the technique, the fucking savagery in both of those girls, and the heart and the will to win, and I loved everything about that fight. And yeah, Saturday night was a great. It felt like a pay-per-view card. It really did. It was awesome.
Speaking of pay-per-views, you've got Kamaru and Leon this Saturday. Would you agree that Leon's skill set, the fact he's good at sort of everything, means he's the sort of guy who Kamaru could slip up on if he's not coming into this fight focused 100%?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that you got to remember with some of these guys, and Edwards being one of them, is this is his second shot at, maybe, you watch tape on him, you watched him fight before, whatever. Well, now you've actually been in there and fought him. You know what the holes were in your game and why you lost, and that's what you get to specifically work on to face Kamaru again. And I think that's what makes Kamaru so great, and why he wins on Saturday night. He should start being talked about with the greats, the Anderson Silvas and the John Joneses, because these guys have had two shots at him. Everybody, including Colby Covington, who, whatever you think about Colby Covington, whatever you want to say about him, if Kamaru Usman does not exist, Colby Covington is the champion and dominates that division.
If Kamaru does win, he's talked about going up to 205, which is obviously a massive jump. But then in the pay-per-view after, you got Khamzat versus Nate Diaz. Is it fair to say if Khamzat wins that fight, he'll get the title shot?
It's fair. I don't ever do that shit, but yeah, it's fair to say if he wins, that's the fight to make. He's already beat everybody twice in the top, whatever. So, yeah, that makes sense. You know what doesn't make sense? 205. But you know what? Look what the guy's done. He said, I want to go fight at 205. What am I going to do? What am I going to tell him, right? Why would you not give him the opportunity?
It's a bit too early to say this, right? But say Kamaru wins and then Khamzat beats Nate Diaz in what's probably going to be a massive fight. How big would a fight between Kamaru and Khamzat be at this point?
Huge. Yeah, it's huge, especially if he wins the Nate fight. Absolutely.
Thanks, Dana.
Which, by the way, I did a bunch of media today, and everybody's counting Nate Diaz out. These are the kind of stories. It's almost like you were just saying to me earlier. It's like people are counting Leon Edwards out. You can't count anybody. Look at what happened here tonight with some of the underdogs. In this sport, man, you never know what's going to happen. Anything is possible.
Well, if Nate gets that victory, do you guys revisit and say, Nate, do you want to come back, or do you just let that be one and done?
I have no idea. I mean, we'll see how this thing plays out.
Again, I can see where some people are like, Dana, don't ever change, but you listen to the stories tonight afterwards, and that's what got Jose Johnson signed. Do you think you're going to make a point to try to listen to more stories afterwards?
Well, I
know you're busy. You don't get
I don't know. I don't know. That just sort of happened tonight. That's the way it played out. And like I told you, I liked everything about Haley, but I didn't listen to her interview. And some I do, some I don't. Just so happened I listened to that one, and that kid got me.
Another fighter on here. I know a lot of times you don't see the story, but I wonder, did you know any of the story about Thomas Paul coming in here, that he was a deaf fighter? Was this another one of those ones that...
I didn't till
the show?
They started playing the preview, yeah.
I thought he had a great performance up to the point he got caught. I think he has a great story. Is this the kind of character and the kind of fighter that you guys would maybe offer to come back to the contenders again to see if he has...
I don't know. I leave that up to the matchmakers.
Got you. Jumping outside of this event, you recently, in one of the other interviews, it might have been today or yesterday, you talked about some of the mistakes that the UFC made with Shane Burgos and how he ended up leaving his contract. He wanted to try the free agency. What sort of mistakes did you feel were made that maybe that allowed him to slip away?
Well, he's not here. That was the mistake, I like the kid.
Yeah.
Listen, do I think Shane Burgos was going to move on and be a world champion here and all this? No, but he's fun. He's fun. I like guys that come out and they bring it every single time they fight, and guys who want to perform, guys who want to win. Who has it more than that kid does, So I'm happy for him. You know, I'm happy for him, and good for the PFL too. He's a great kid, and not just an exciting, fun fighter, but he's a great person. So, yeah, good for everybody involved in that.
Yeah.
We're not perfect, but we don't fuck up often. We don't fuck up often, but we fucked that one up.
Last one for me. You talked about earlier about this young talent, the 20 and 23-year-olds that were fighting over the Yasmins over at San Diego. You guys signed a 17-year-old to get a chance to come in there and fight on the Contender Series. I hope I don't butcher his name, Raul Rosas Jr. What was the decision behind that? You know, I think you guys.
I don't know anything about it.
So you don't know the story about him?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, spoiler.
I'll know when he fights.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting though. I mean, I guess that he has to have something about him for them to even contemplate that at that age, right?
I have no idea.
Awesome.
I have no idea. We'll talk about this after the fight.
There you go. Thanks, Dana.
All right.
Hey, Dana. Going back to UFC San Diego, Chito Vera knocked out Dominic Cruz. What do you see next for him? Is it? I mean, is he close to a title? I mean, because the next few months, the bantamweight division is really heating up.
100%. And that's what we had a matchmaking meeting today, and literally we talked about Cheeto and all the different guys in the division. But you're exactly right. I mean, a lot of fights are happening in that division over the next couple months, and we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But I mean, Dominic Cruz, 38 years old, been doing this for a long time. He came out and did what Dominic does. He looked good, great footwork. You know, the awkward movement that he has. Chito Vera dropped him like 3-4 times, and every time that he did, he was very patient. He didn't jump on him and, you know, overextend and run in there. He took his time, and I think he felt like he was going to eventually catch him, and he did. You know, I think both guys fought an excellent fight.
Is Cheeto getting to the point where you can take a show to Ecuador?
We could take a show anywhere. we could do a fight anywhere in the world, but absolutely we could go to Ecuador. And absolutely, if we go to Ecuador, we're going with Chito Vera.
And then finally for me, another ex-UFC fighter retired this past weekend, Rory Mcdonald, and I just wanted your thoughts on Rory.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's good. You know, Rory, obviously him and the Robbie Lawler fight, you know, people will remember that fight forever. That's one of the fights that'll go down in history. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm happy for him.
Is there anything that you could share from his time in the company?
No, I mean, the thing, I always liked Rory. Rory was always a good kid, and, you know, very quiet and he's a silent killer, man. Tough, durable, just, you know, very, very tough guy.
Thank you.
Dana.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Another amazing night.
Thank you.
Claudio, the Brazilian, before the fight, he was saying, I'm going to win, and I'm going to make Dana White say, oh, my God, after my fight.
Is that what he said?
And you actually did. I don't know if you noticed that.
I noticed. I thought the kid's fucking head came off. That's why I was yelling, oh, my God. Yeah. Well, mission accomplished. Yeah.
Actually, you did all my F, God. But
yeah, exactly.
How much do you think Lorenzo Fertitta would have liked tonight if he was here?
Yeah, well, Lorenzo. I don't know if Lorenzo's bad luck or what, but he picked the wrong night to come, or I picked the wrong night to invite him, whichever one you want to call it.
Perfect. My last question for you. This Saturday, UFC Salt Lake City, Paulo Costa, he's fighting again.
Yep.
And his last fight was here at the Apex, and we know all the issue with the cut weight. Is there any concern about that for this fight? It's going to be 185 pounds.
Yeah, no, I'm not concerned. No, listen, he's a professional. He's a pro. Hopefully he comes in. If both those guys show up and do what they both do, that should be a fun fight. So, no, I'm not worried about anything. So, we'll see. Good? Yep, go ahead, bud.
Hey, Dana, just a
Hey.
question. Claudio came in at, I think, 181.5 on the scales for his fight tonight. He's fought most of his career at 185. I'm just wondering if maybe that's a guy that drops to 170, or does he stay at 185?
It's a great question. I didn't notice that on there. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Wow. That's a big 170-pounder. That's interesting. So what do you say? Did he really not even cut? He just came in at 181? He didn't cut weight?
I'm not 100% sure. I just saw the scale.
Ask him that when he comes in, if he cut weight. If he didn't, yeah, that's impressive. He can make 170 easy.
Sure. And then this past weekend in San Diego, I think one of the biggest pops of the night was when Patty Pimblett walked into the arena. People were chanting, "Oh, Patty, the baddie." I'm just wondering, when you signed him, did you expect him to have this big of an impact?
Yeah, I think that we knew that he was right there on the cusp of being a big star. You never know how somebody's really going to come over, you know, until it happens. But yeah, we knew that he was going to be big.
And he was talking about possibly fighting in December.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
He's going to have to lose some weight.
Actually, what do you make of his weight fluctuation? He said he was 200 pounds on Saturday night. What do you make of the fact that he blows up and blows down in between fights?
It's not good for you, you know. I mean, we all know that. We know that fluctuating and cutting that much weight is very bad, and it definitely doesn't prolong your career. You know, it's tough on your body and your organs and stuff like that. But listen, he's a grown man. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. You know, it makes it tough for us too, because when we're in the matchmaking room, we want to throw together a fight. Maybe we could throw him on a card in a month and a half. It hurts us too. We have to be very specific when we plan fights for him, because he's nowhere near close to weight. And what you don't want to do is put that kind of pressure on him to cut that much weight in that short amount of time. So.
Is that the sort of thing as well, that if you did do that and then he missed weight, you can imagine the crazy backlash about it, right? Like, oh, you blew up so much and then you missed weight. You know, you don't want that to happen to him either, right?
I really don't give a shit about backlash, but you know, I care more about him and his health and safety than backlash.
Do you ever have do you think you'll one day have a conversation with him about, like, okay, you're now getting older?
That's none of my business, man. That's all up to him. You know, if this guy, you know, likes food, listen, he's preaching to the preacher over here. I like food too, so I get it.
Get him on Fuck It Friday.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that's totally up to him, man. It's his life, it's his career, it's his body. He can do whatever he wants.
Dana, follow up. UFC 279 just a couple weeks away. Are you planning on throwing another fight on that, another big fight on that card?
Which card are you?
For UFC 279.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. We're working on that today. We're going to throw a few more fights, not one. Yeah, it's going to be a good card.
And super quick, Dana, you got 2 weeks out from the Boxing Hall of Fame. I know you were involved before and for Vinny Paciencia. Anything going on that you're working with the Boxing Hall of Fame?
No, I'm not involved in that at all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You guys done with me? Go ahead, brother.
Just finally here. Just curious, how many times has happened that you go to the cage and greet a couple of fighters, like what happened between the Jasmines?
Very, very few. Very few. I was so blown away by that fight, and yeah, I had to go over and tell them both how incredibly badass they are and how blown away I was by their performance, and it's very rare that I do it. You know, I go up there and put the belts on when the belts, but I stay out of it, and everybody does their thing. And if I want to talk to somebody, I usually talk to them in the back. You know, I'll go grab somebody in the back or whatever, but that one had me fucking running over to the stairs to, you know, it was awesome.
Jasmine has been labeled as the female Brandon Moreno. She used to train with him. So you see that? You see that charm, that heart in her?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's awesome. But what blows me away is the level that those two are at 20 and 23 years old. Both of those women fighting at that level. I mean, you're not even in your prime till you're 27, 28 in the fight business. You know, what are those two girls going to look like in fucking 5-6 years? It's awesome. I'm a huge fan of both of them right now.
People were like, there was a lot of criticism of having two girls on her debut fight in the third fight of the card. You prove them like wrong with that?
Huh? We always prove the dummies wrong that talk shit on the. I posted If You Don't Know, and people were like, oh, this is a C-level fucking... Shut the fuck up. What do any of you know about fighting? Shut up. Just sit on the couch, shut the fuck up, and watch, okay? That's what you do. Other than that, it's fucking crap. 22 years we've been doing this, and, you know, it's always the cards that everybody starts shitting on. Oh, this one's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. When was the last time we had a card that you were like, oh, this was fucking terrible? Years. It's been years. And these kids come out and fight their asses off, man. So when I got to listen to these fucking idiots on social media, it's just fucking, oh, my God. Have a great night.
Get him, Amy.
Sorry for hogging the initial question.
Do your thing. Do your thing, babe.
I just wanted to get
Do
through
your thing, babe. Didn't mean to play, babe. Oh my God, babe, a lot.
I actually did.
I didn't take it
I know you
in
didn't.
any way.
I'll fucking skip.
I've been texting my
Then he
buddy,
went
right?
back to them anyway.
Relax.
Well, okay, I got it.
I apologize. Buddy is what I should
I haven't been called babe in a long time.
I know.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, Ecuador. That reminded me of the guy who used to be on the team. We will have a message for your fans in Ecuador. Just 5 of these. Claudio Ribeiro is going to be the longest. Esteban's going to be second.
This sounds good right now.
You can kick off, Jose.
Pizza sounds good right now.
Oh, I'm trying to watch TV. Wait, I did that and I ate that, but I ate fruits on that.
Is this in order? Okay.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Congratulations on a great fight. You know, you wanted that finish. You wouldn't leave that cage until you got that finish. How are you feeling about your own performance tonight?
I haven't watched the whole fight, but the way I feel like I let some mistakes happen. But overall, I got what I wanted. I got my finish. That's what they want on contenders. That's what they want in the UFC. That's what I want. So, yes, there's things that I can say I can improve on or work on or not make those mistakes, but I got my finish.
When you did get the finish, were you kind of confident that, okay, I've probably got this contract, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that, yeah. When it's a KO like that, yeah, that's a contract.
Was he tougher than you thought he was going to be?
I knew he was tough. Look, he has a strong reason to be here. You know, I know the background. I know the whole story where he's from Afghanistan. He came on those last planes in November when they had that revolution, or however you want to call it there. I knew he had a strong reason to be here. He wasn't going to go out that easy. He wasn't going to go out, period, until you put him out. So I expected him to be tough. I didn't expect him to wrestle like that. I actually thought he was going to try to style on me with his range and 1-2 down the mat. I thought he was going to do that a lot more. But listen.
I think the body shot might have cut that in half. I think he went to the grappling after he landed a pretty awesome body shot.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that the fight went on as long as it did? Because to the people in the room, it felt like maybe after that second round, they could maybe call it on the stool. Were you expecting, okay, he's still here, we're still going?
I just remember these breaks that we kept taking. Like, I didn't understand. I got poked in the eye, and then he pokes me in the eye, or I poke him in the eye, or I stick my hand out to gauge distance, and then we give him a break, and then I didn't get a break, and then there was other breaks for other things. I don't know what was going on over there, to be honest. I was just hunting that finish from start to finish, which is what I always do. So I don't know why we kept taking breaks, but it only worked out for my benefit. I only got hungrier for that finish once we did take those breaks.
As you said, you got the contract. That's what you came here for. So last one from me. How exactly does it feel for you right now to be sitting on this stage knowing, hey, next time I fight, it'll be in the UFC?
Lifelong dream. It's everybody's. Everybody that is fighting on contenders obviously has dreamed to be in the UFC for a long time. So for me, it's a childhood dream. I watched BJ Penn upset the world and submit Matt Hughes at UFC 46. I was already intrigued as a kid. And then I watched, what was after that? Chuck blast Tito against the cage and all this stuff. So like I was a fan since then. And then since teen years, I started, I didn't start competing, but I was already competing like on what you would call bigger stages. And that's it, now we're here. You know, I put in the work. I went through the journey. I went through all the ups and downs that this game will throw at you. So I'm not surprised to be here.
And Nazim over here.
Hi.
I'm just curious, you were just talking about, your first fight in the UFC. How do you kind of picture that? Do you have, a time frame in mind, a location, an opponent?
That's Matt Favola back there. He's on MSG. Throw me in MSG with him over there.
Let's go.
November. Let's get it.
Do you have an opponent in mind, or?
No, I'm not gonna do these call outs yet, but trust me, I'm gonna cause a shitstorm.
Thank you.
The belt in your division is up for grabs. Just a quick pick. Charles, Islam, what happens?
That's so tough. Everybody can agree that it's tough. Like, I think that Islam is going to be able to ride it out, but then Charles is not. Charles is going to walk forward the whole time. In the stand-up, Islam gauges distance. He controls the distance, controls the range. Charles is going to walk right up to him, and he's not going to care if he gets taken down because he's going to threaten off his back. So if Islam wins this, I know that Charles is going to bring drama and he's going to bring dangerous moments in that fight.
And I know as a lifelong fan, you'll be watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, congrats on the contract and good luck with the career.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
And Nazim, how soon after your last knockout at Fury did you know that you were going to get the Contender Series?
I didn't know for sure. Well, after my December finish, there was like a buzz that Contenders is coming back around in the summer or something like that. I wasn't guaranteed a spot on there, but I wasn't going to sit anyways. I wanted to keep busy. I sat out like 20 months from 2020 during COVID, and I had all these injuries that almost felt like a nightmare. It was like all back to back. So as soon as I got that Fury FC 3-fight deal, I was hungry to get in there back to back to back. I fought in October. 8 weeks later, I'm on the December card. And then like 12 weeks later, I'm on the March card. And now we're on Contenders, and I want to get right back in there. I'm going to heal this cut, take a little break, and jump right back in there.
What was the phone call like when you knew that you were going to get the shot?
I remember where I was. I was in the gym. Where else could I be? I was in the gym, but the phone call, it was like, I took a second. I stopped. When I got the text from my manager, shout out to Danny Ruby, I got my text saying I'm going to be on Contender against Ahmad Hassanzadeh. So I just sat for 5 minutes in the gym. I stopped what I was doing, and I'm like, this is my shot right here. This is my shot. And what was this, 3 months ago? This was in the middle of April, end of April, I found out. My mind has just been to do what I did tonight. And that's it, we're here, UFC.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Haiti, congratulations on the victory and the contract. When you're sitting there and Dana's talking about you and he's sort of umming and ahhing, what's the feelings like internally at that moment?
That was worse. That's a more nerve-wracking feeling than you feel when you're stepping into the cage. And then he started it off with, that wasn't the most exciting barn burner fight that you want to see on Contenders. And I was like, oh, great. I did fight a really good girl, it's not like he gave me a scrub that I could walk out there and just be reckless with. So, yeah, and I said in my interview after the fight, I really believe that both of us belong in the UFC, and I think that we put on a UFC-level performance tonight, both of us. So I'm happy with how it went, and I'm happy with my performance.
Conversely, right, so he starts off umming and ahhing, but then he eventually turns around and goes, get over here. How elated are you at that moment?
It's like everything builds up, and then it just releases. So I had a feeling, when good things are about to happen to you, I feel like sometimes you just kind of know. And so as nervous as I was, I did have a deep, deep feeling that, my life was about to change. So as excited as I wasn't super surprised that he ended up, flipping the little attitude that he gave us at the beginning. So
It's an interesting one, right? He wasn't like overly complimentary of the fight, but he did turn around and say, there's something about this girl. She's got a bit of a nit factor. I can't put my finger on it. That in turn is actually probably a better compliment than one of the fight from Dana.
Yeah, I know what it means, but I also don't know what that means, but I'm thankful for it. I'll take the it factor. Yeah, they don't like the clinch, and I love the clinch, and I do a lot of damage in the clinch. So even this fight, I wasn't able to do, to hang out in the clinch for very long because I was worried about, impressing him, and I didn't want him to consider that boring. But I've never even been warned in the clinch to get to work. I'm always very, very active. So I probably would have been able to get a finish if I would have, gotten to that clinch more and did the damage that I did in round one. But I was very, very worried that he was not going to like that. So.
Is that like an extra thing, an extra layer to fighting that you probably never had to deal with before, where it's like, well, I need to fight and I need to win, but I also need to fight and win in a very certain way for this one guy?
Yeah, not one time in my career so far has a ref come in to give me, the pre-fight, the rules and said, and by the way, you better be exciting. Like that's never happened. It's just like, oh, okay, thank you. I'll try.
Well, on that note, welcome to the UFC. Last question from me. How important and exciting is it for you to know that the next time you fight, it will be in the UFC with those gloves on?
I hadn't even thought about that yet. That's pretty exciting. I need to let that soak in for a second. Yeah, I'm excited. I keep telling everybody this isn't the pinnacle for me. I do feel like my ceiling is high, and this is just the beginning. So I'm really excited to test myself and see what I'm capable of.
Congrats on the win. Awesome stuff. Even when Dana spoke about you after the fact, it was just good vibe, good energy, just so you know. And whatever's there, it's something where somebody of that caliber can see and know there's a future. Was there any urgency? Let's circle back to the performance in your corner. Like, okay, we're going the distance. Maybe not what we planned. What were the thoughts? What were you guys?
Yeah. I'm a very urgent person naturally. Like, I get bored really easily, so I tend to get excited in fights, and so my corner is always real calm. And so he didn't make me feel like I knew I'm not stupid. I knew that we were 1-1 going into 3, and I knew where I was having the most success and where I wasn't. And Claudia's ground game is really, really good. It's very legitimate. But I knew that if I got on top of her, that I was going to be able to do a lot of damage. And so she shot for that double leg, and I hit that wizard throw and landed on top and made a silly mistake and went straight into jiu-jitsu mode at the end of that round and tried to go to her back and got reversed. I should have just stayed on top and kept punching my way. I probably would have either finished the fight or been a little bit more exciting. But, we make mistakes and we learn from them, and hopefully we don't make them again.
Of course, it's part of the evolution. Some of the seasoned vets, champions, go to their bread and butter. But what was that moment when they were announcing the scorecards and you're like, oh, here we go?
Again, like I was so at peace all week. Like I knew that I checked every single box. And when you've had a camp where you know that you did physically everything that you're capable of doing, there's a peace. It's like, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose, but whatever happens, if I show up and perform, it happened. What was supposed to happen happened. And so after the fight, I knew it was going to be a split decision. I had no doubt in my mind. But again, I just had a feeling, like I said earlier, I just had that feeling that it's finally my turn. And so I don't know. I wasn't scared that I wasn't going to get the nod. I kind of knew that I was going to get it. I don't know. It was a weird feeling.
That's a great feeling. If your hand's going to be raised before the fact, that's that confidence. Who's the ideal opponent? What's the ideal arena? What do you want to do, an Apex event, or like, nah, give me Madison Square, give me T-Mobile?
I don't like the silence. I was a college athlete, and college sports is very loud. I love the loud arenas. I would love to fight in Texas. I'm a Texan. Like, you cut me open, and I bleed little Lone Stars. Like, I would love to fight in Texas. That would be the dream.
All right, well, hope that you get that accomplished too on the bucket list, and good luck on the career, Haley.
Thank you.
My guy. Oscar, I knew I could hit him. So I like to hit Stockton and Malone over here. They got four.
I was gonna go like, Alex, where are you guys?
You're up first in this one, yeah?
Ready, like, right from the rest. This might.
Jose, how are you feeling?
Words can't even describe, to be honest.
Man, it's been a long journey, ups and downs. You're finally a UFC athlete. What are the emotions like right now?
Honestly, man, I just wanna have a drink and eat some really good food, enjoy time with my lady and my family, my coaches. I just want to celebrate with my people, the people who helped me get here, who stayed by me through all that shit. So.
Jack Cartwright, very tough opponent. What was the game plan going into that fight?
There was no specific game plan. I've kind of come to realization that anybody who fights me at this weight is gonna see me and be like, hell no. I'm not about to stand in front of this 6 foot 135er with a 72.5-inch reach. Like it would just be stupid of you to do that. So I knew, and I told him at weigh-ins, even though he tried to convince me otherwise, that you were gonna wrestle. And we prepared heavy for that, jiu-jitsu wise. And my jiu-jitsu is what got me the win. I dedicate all that to my coach, Philip Platt, who's out in the crowd right there, and those guys over at Renzo Gracie San Antonio.
There was some heat coming into this fight and weigh-ins a little bit after. Did that just add to the fight?
Nah, man, a fight is a fight. I'm coming with the heat for every fight. It just added to the fun.
You took his O, you took Mo Miller's O. How does that feel?
I mean, they keep giving me these monsters, and I'm gonna keep putting them back in the closet. So I gotta say.
And then finally, for me, man, you've been busy this year. When would you like to return? Do you have an opponent in mind? I know that you love this sport and you watch it, so I'm pretty sure you have a bunch of names on the top of your tongue.
Hell yeah. I love the matchup with Corey Sanhagen down the line. I love his striking. I love his tenacity. Awesome. A guy I really don't like, and I really want to punch him in the face, is Sean O'Malley. And he got signed off of this show, too. And I just got signed off of this show, and I'm coming for you. I can't stand that dude, so I'm going to see him. He thinks he's the biggest 135er in the division, and we're going to see.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just when you hear Dana say that when he was first breaking down the fight, maybe saying he was kind of on the fence, what was your initial thoughts? Did you think that you were going to get overlooked for this time and maybe have to come back, or maybe just hope to get it later on?
I didn't think that I was going to get overlooked. I ain't going to lie to you. I took a little shit, but I was super I was super nervous. I'm not going to hold you up. But I knew that we had just beat an undefeated opponent not too long ago on the ground, like they wanted me to fix. So I fixed that, and tonight I proved that, beating the number one guy in the UK. He was undefeated, another monster again. Like I said, we're just gonna keep putting the mofos back in the closet.
Also, Dana a lot of times after events, right after the fights, doesn't put the headset on, doesn't hear the interviews, doesn't hear the person's story. For you, something moved him. He decided to put the headphones on, and then he heard your story, and he said it was that story that moved him, and he said, I have to give this guy a shot. How grateful are you that you took that chance to go out there and say what you've been going through? You opened up your heart, and in turn, you got rewarded for it.
I think it was a little bit of a combination of both. I think that he already knew the story. The story changed a lot since then, and he felt it and he heard it, but then he also looked at the hard work that was put in behind it. A lot of people in the situation that I was put in would have just given up, after losses, back-to-back losses in front of Dana White. They would have just put the gloves down, and me, I didn't. I found an even better support system, an even better team, and even better love of the sport. And got back on that horse, and here we are today.
So do you feel going through all that sets you up for success that maybe others that maybe didn't have to go through those trials and tribulations, you think that's going to set you up for better success in the future?
Hell yeah. Like I said, I keep fighting these guys that nobody wants to fight. That's fine. I'll keep fighting them. That way, when I get in front of somebody that, who's lesser of an opponent than opponents that I've already fought, it's going to be easy. It's going to be light work. I'm very excited.
Congrats on the win. Welcome to the UFC.
Thank you, brother.
Great job tonight, my man. Just for fun, you're in there with killers. We just name dropped Sean O'Malley, Sanhagen. You got Sonya Dong in there. You got TJ in them. What does it feel like to be in this just unbelievable division that's on fire right
now? I believe that it's even more of a blessing that I'm in this division, because it's really tough to get recognized in this division as it is, because it's such a stacked division. And now I've been recognized for it twice, and I made the necessary changes, and I made the most out of this opportunity. I'm just excited to get in there and shake this division up.
And last for me, congrats on the win. Fantastic performance. How does it go down when that belt's up for grabs with Aljamain's defense?
Oh, he ain't trying to strike either. He trying to wrestle too. So we gonna see.
Right on, my man. Congrats on the win and good luck with the career.
Thank you.
Where do I go? He goes. I'm like, up there, up there. There you go. Welcome. Aí, tá em casa? Feeling at home? Right there. Pronto.
Estamos em casa.
We're home.
Que moral, hein? E aí, Maisona, tá me vendo aqui, paizão? Jorjão?
You're giving me props, people. Like, is everybody looking and seeing me at home? Dad, Mom, everybody?
All right, my man, congrats on the win. Big smiles, victorious, everything's good. You got the howler head. How are you feeling after this contract win tonight?
Parabéns pela vitória, sorrisão na cara, bela de uma vitória, o esquisinho na mão aí. Cara, como é que tá se sentindo?
Cara, tô me sentindo muito bem, obrigado pelas palavras aí, pela torcida. E tô me sentindo muito feliz mesmo.
Just feeling good. Thank you so much for your kind words and for all those who've been in attendance and rooting for me. Just feeling really good, really happy.
And speaking of attendance, sometimes fighters just bring their country with them. You took over the arena. We heard the chants, we heard the party. It was just, the energy was amazing. That's kind of like a new thing. I never felt that before.
Falando sobre torcida que você mencionou, alguns lutadores trazem o país deles aqui. E você trouxe uma galera que faz um barulho, uma energia. Vocês mudaram o astral da arena e eu nunca vi isso. Então, primeira vez que a gente vê uma coisa dessa, a gente não sentiu isso aqui. Uma coisa muito bacana.
É a energia do rei, né? A nossa equipe tem um grito de guerra, que depois a gente vai cantar para vocês aí, o rei faz parte. E esse rei, ele vem lá de dentro, e ele arrepia, e é uma energia diferenciada.
It's the energy of the Ray, our chant, our war chant. We're going to do that for you when we're done. And it's just an energy, vital energy that comes from within. It just gives us all that energy to keep going. And we are going to do it before we leave.
Excellent. It's one thing to envision your performance, from the locker room to the walkout to putting on the gloves, but you knocked it out of the park with this stoppage. How close was what you envisioned to the actual performance tonight?
Tem uma coisa é você visualizar o processo. Você chegar aqui, começar a se arrumar, colocar a luva, dar aquela aquecida, sair no teu walkout, entrar lá. Mas você fez isso. Não ficou só na palavra da visualização. Você chegou aqui, cara, e mandou a bola para a rede. Então, como é que você sente ter feito isso exatamente? Como é que da maneira com muito sonho, né?
É um sonho que faz 13 anos que eu estou no mundo da luta, 7 anos que eu estou com a minha equipe, com minha mãezona, meu paizão, e a gente sempre sonhou, né? E hoje se tornou realidade. Então, é que nem eu falei, eu não sou de ficar falando muito e falar do atleta que eu vou nocautear. A gente treina para isso, para chegar e dar show.
It's a dream come true, and the fruit of our work. I've been working really hard with my big daddy, my big mama there in the gym, and I've always said I'm not so much to talk about things and to talk about that I'm gonna knock people out. We work for that. I've been in 13 years in MMA, 7 years with this team, and this is the culmination of our work.
Well, it looks like hard work definitely pays off. This finish was fantastic. He went with that spinning attack and like a sharpshooter. You just caught him spot on. How did you see that opening and were able to execute so flawlessly?
E parece que realmente o trabalho duro compensa, né? O knockout foi espetacular. Ele tentou dar aquela girada para cima de você e você foi como um atirador de elite e acertou ele. Como é que aconteceu o que aconteceu ali?
A gente treina bastante, né? Que nem eu falo. É de segunda a sábado que a gente treina, distância, movimentação, golpes de encontro. Então, na hora que ele foi dar a giratória, eu dei um passo. Eu ia pendular, mas eu dei um passo para trás, jogando cruzado. E em seguida já voltei cruzado de direita. Então, ali pegou, caiu. E meu mestre fala, mãos de pedra.
So, we work hard for that, and we always like to say, we work from Monday through Saturday. We work on it. We work on distance. We work on counter punches. We work on, setting our feet. And when he went for that spin, I thought I was going to pendulum a little bit, just kind of, shift my balance. But I stepped back, found a distance, and at that point I found the opening, and I hit him. And it's like I said, if it hits, it falls. And just like they say over there, so my hand's of stone,
Very nice. And lastly, what is the ideal debut for you? How soon? And are we staying at 85 or maybe going to 170 if that's a possibility?
E por último, qual seria a tua estreia ideal? Ou seja, uma data, quando, como é que você consegue visualizar a tua estreia oficial no UFC? E a pergunta, que não quer calar, vai continuar 175 ou vai descer ela para 170?
Vou ficar no 8-4, né? Em nome de Jesus, pegar o cinturão do 8-4 e depois a gente vai descer para o 7-7. Mas é um passinho de cada vez, sem pressa. Não sou de ficar falando nomes de adversário. O que o patrão falar que eu estou pronto, a divisão falar que eu estou pronto, você vai lutar com esse, a gente está aqui, que a gente não escolhe adversário, tá? Vamos que vamos.
Basically, we're going to stay at 85 and going to continue to run the course, and then maybe later think about what's below. As far as fighting, I'm not here to choose opponents. I never choose opponents. Whatever the boss tells me, whatever the promotion thinks I'm ready to fight against, we're going to continue to pound through.
Excellent. Obrigado.
E é que nem eles falam que eu sou pequenininho para minha categoria, mas é que nem eu falo, Mike Tyson era pequeno também e nocauteava todos os grandes. Então eu vou ser o Mike Tyson do 8-4, pode ter certeza.
They like to say that I'm little for the division, but you know what? Mike Tyson was little for boxing, and he used to knock everyone out. So I'm going to be the Mike Tyson of my division.
Hey, that sounds great to me. Congrats and good luck, my man.
Hey, Claudio. You look out, and your coach and your family are crying tears of joy. What does that mean to you?
Você olha para a equipe, para essa família que você tem, e são lágrimas de felicidade. O que isso significa para você?
Cara, significa um sonho realizado, que nem eu falei, né? São 13 anos no mundo da luta, 8 anos no profissional, 7 anos que eu tô com meu paizão, com minha mãezona aí, que são meus mestres, que tá com a gente até debaixo d'água. Então, tô onde eu tô hoje por causa de Deus, tá na frente sempre. E eles acreditaram no meu sonho, por isso que essa é a família, dentro e fora do tatame. Eu sempre falo assim, a gente está no barco junto, então se for afundar, a gente vai afundar junto, mas com certeza a gente vai chegar na ilha lá, que é a terra prometida, e vai ficar todo mundo bem.
It's been 13 years MMA. It's been 8 years of pro. It's been 7 years with this team. And I'd like to say, I mean, we're together on this, and they're together with me even underwater. And we're going to continue to work hard, and we like to say we're in the same boat. And if that boat, sinks, we are going to swim together and get to that island, which is the promised land. I'm here first and foremost because of God. My team is always there with me, just to support me, and we're going to make it.
You were dancing after your win. Very, very good. Where did you learn to dance?
Você estava dançando depois da vitória, muito boa a sua dança, a propósito. Onde é que você aprendeu a dançar?
Cara, eu comecei dançando axé com minha irmã, tal, pai. A gente tinha um grupo de dança na igreja e a gente dançava um hip hop, pá, já no funk. E eu danço tudo, cara, tipo, escutei a música, eu embraso, daquele jeitão. Eu curto muito dançar, mano, tipo, me relaxa na entrada, dançar, tirar uma onda. Eu danço funk, eu danço um black, eu danço tudo, cara. Tem um forrozão, mano. Tem o Gasparzinho, essa mulher enlouqueceu, ela quer pular em cima de mim. Vai ser um fly.
There are limits to my translation. Tem limite para minha tradução, meu camarada. So I used to dance axé music very famous in the carnivals, but yeah, back in the late 90s, very famous all over the country. That's how I started, and then started dancing in church. And then he danced Brazilian funk, Brazilian hip hop, and what we refer to as black music in Brazil. I like the rhythm. It just kind of loosens me up. I like to. It relaxes me. It's like calm. Music is a calm presence in my life, and it doesn't matter, man. I hear music. I just listen to it. I go with the flow, and I'll take anything. And obviously, as you know, he just said one particular style of music that I'm not going to translate.
Congratulations.
It wasn't bad, by the way. It's just it would not be phonetically appropriate.
Just there was you came in so light on the scales for the weigh-in. Did you even have to cut for this fight, or were you that low already?
Você chegou super leve para a pesagem. Você cortou peso mesmo ou já estava leve assim? Esse é o teu peso?
Sim, é que assim, a gente não fica 10 quilos acima do peso. Se eu luto no 8,4, eu fico com 8,8, 8,9. Então, eu já cheguei aqui 87, a gente treinou, uma hora de treino, suou, encapou, bateu. A gente precisa fazer sauna, a gente precisa ficar desidratando. É isso que eu recomendo, assim, se você tem que aceitar o seu peso, e esse é o meu peso.
We have a philosophy, referring to the gym when we say we have a philosophy to keep our weight, to kind of own our weight. We're maybe going to be a little bit over, but that is our weight, and we're not going to be doing any steam room, and we're not going to go into the tub or anything of the sort. Just basically, I came in just a little bit over that, and then hitting some pads, some bike, and it naturally falls to the one that you saw. We like to say, just just accept your weight. It's going to be healthier. So that's the philosophy that we have.
E nada contra, tem gente que tem, cada equipe, cada cara tem o seu processo, nada contra quem tira 10 quilos e nada, cada um faz o seu trabalho do jeito que acha melhor, entendeu? É que a gente faz assim, a gente também deve ficar tomando suplementação, alimentação, tudo certinho, as refeições certas, e é isso, a gente trabalha desse jeito, mas cada um tem o jeito de trabalhar, entendeu?
And by no means this is criticism to anybody. Nothing against those who do it. They might go on a 20. Every team, every gym has a different process. Might lose 20 pounds. It's just the way that we administer things is a lot about nutrition. It's a lot about taking the right supplements and around just being there. But we don't need to take anything extra for it. Again, by no means I'm criticizing those who do it. Everyone has a process. It's just that we work that way back at the gym at BBT.
And I know you want to be the Mike Tyson of the middleweight division, be that smaller guy. But I know when Dana was told earlier tonight about how low that you came in on the scale, his mind immediately started thinking, wow, if this guy can have that power and transfer down to the welterweight, you would be a real problem. So when you hear something like that coming from the UFC's president's mouth, does that maybe sway you a little bit? And is there ever a possibility of doing a two-division sort of thing?
E eu sei que você falou sobre se manter em médio, continuar do peso como está, que você está confortável com isso, mas o Dana White, quando soube que você estava em 181 aqui, ele olhou e falou, poxa, um cara como esse, com essa força, com esse poder, descendo para a categoria, ele seria uma força na outra. Você escutando isso do Dana White, sabendo agora talvez que o Dana White falou isso, o que significa para você? Isso talvez dá uma cambalhada, de repente começa a pensar, pô, o chefe falou, vou descer lá então, vou dominar aquele negócio.
É assim, o patrão falou, mas é que nem eu falei, eu me sinto bem no 8,4, entendeu? E que nem eu falei, um passinho de cada vez, a gente vai pegar o cinturão sem pressa, e se ele der a oportunidade, eu desço pro 7,7 para pegar o cinturão do 8,7, com certeza.
Of course, when the boss says, but, as I said, we're going to keep it at 85, one step at a time, no rush. But if you keep saying those things, of course, we'll go down there and get that belt over there as well.
And last, I think you're the first that we've seen tonight that came out with the Howler Head whiskey. When they gave you that bottle tonight, was that any indication? Did they say anything about your performance tonight? Because obviously, you're the first that we've seen that's been rewarded with a bottle of whiskey tonight.
Olha, você é o primeiro que apareceu aqui com a garrafa de Gorói, ou seja, foi falado alguma coisa para você, porque nós não vimos ninguém vir com a garrafa na mão como você veio. quando entregaram para você a garrafa de Howler Head, vocês falaram alguma coisa sobre o teu desempenho? Como é que foi a tua noite? Algum tipo de parabéns especial que foi dado para você para te dar essa garrafa?
Sim, eu acho que foi o presente do patrão, né? O presente do patrão aí. Muito grato aí por esse presente. E tá aqui, ó. Eu não bebo não, mas eu vou guardar de lembrança aí. Primeira de muitas. Vai ficar guardadinha lá. Dei o meu bocal para ele, coloquei no meu bocal Dana. Eu dei de presente para ele, ele retribuiu aqui, eu acho, né? Mas obrigado, Dana. Deus abençoe.
Yeah, it seems something that came straight from the boss. I mean, I don't drink, but I'm going to keep it as a souvenir, one of many to come. And I actually had in my mouthpiece Dana on it, and I gave it to him as a remembrance. And I think he might just retributed it by giving that to me. But just of course, we're gonna just have this as a gift, and I kindly accept it.
Well, that kind of answered my question. I didn't know if the bottle was going to survive till tomorrow or if it was going to be a souvenir. So it sounds like it's going to go home and be a trophy of sorts.
Acabou de responder minha próxima pergunta, que seria: não sabia se essa garrafa ia durar até amanhã de manhã ou não, mas aparentemente ela realmente vai durar e continuar sendo como um troféu seu na noite de hoje, né?
Sim, vai durar bastante aí. Quando nós for nos rolezinhos, nas festas lá, que a gente faz o churrasquinho, eu vou dar um pouquinho, só um pouquinho para vocês experimentarem, não é muito não, entendeu? Mas, porque, entendeu? Na ocasião certa, é que eu chegar no Brasil, nós vai abrir aí, vamos comemorar aí. Eu não bebo, mas eu vou deixar vocês beber só um pouquinho, hein, mano? Não é muito não.
We have some barbecues at home, and when I bring it back home, we have the barbecues over there, and now we'll share just a little bit of it. Not all of it, just a sip, a couple sips for you guys. So but we do have a lot of barbecues. Get everybody together. So when I go back to Brazil, you'll be able to taste it a little bit, but just a little bit.
Parabéns.
Muito obrigado. Thank you very good.
Oh, you thought you were done.
Nah.
Good bud.
How are you guys?
kind of nervous. I told him it was going to go up here. They're all having a hard time figuring that they're going to be up there.
Yes.
Claudio también, como miró, ¿de dónde voy yo? Acá, arriba.
Congratulations. Welcome to the stage. Not only did you win, but tonight UFC President Dana White said that you were right up his alley. How cool is it to hear that, and how fantastic is it to be up there as a winner tonight?
Bueno, primero de todo, bienvenido a lo grande acá. No solo ganaste, sino que Dana White, como te mencioné ahí en el video, dijo, you're right up my alley. O sea, estás en mi calle, sos uno de los míos. Así que, ¿qué es escuchar eso, saber que Dana White habló eso de vos?
Primero que nada, muchas gracias. Y nada, estoy muy emocionado, muy contento. Se los prometí en la primera entrevista en el pesaje que lo iba a hacer emocionar a Dana. Lo tengo en la cabeza y lo cumplí.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I'm still very emotional about things, very touched by what happened. Listen, in the weigh-ins, I did say that this is what I was going to do. I was going to do something to really get something out of Dana, and a promise made was a promise kept, and I got it.
Is that the sort of fighting style us fans and media can expect from you going forward? Is it just all-out aggression from every fight?
Ese es el estilo de pelea que podemos esperar como hinchas del UFC, así que venís así fuerte y la rompes, así desde el inicio, o sea, ¿este es tu estilo?
Este es mi estilo. Les prometo que va a ser así y es más, lo voy a hacer más impresionante cada vez.
That is my style. I promise that it's going to be like this, and I promise it's going to be even more impressive every single time.
That's fantastic for us to hear. You're joining a division with a lot of guys who fight very aggressively. Now it's early days, you just joined the promotion, but when you look at your division, are there other aggressive fighters that you think you match up well with that we could see in the future?
Bueno, estás en la categoría, bueno, primeramente de todo es buenísimo para nosotros escuchar que ese va a ser su estilo. Estás en una categoría muy competitiva, que la gente es muy agresiva y que muchos peleadores son así. ¿Algún luchador o algunos luchadores que ves que están en la misma categoría tal vez serían una buena opción para luchar con vos, para tener peleas de aquellas que van los dos y dan todo? O sea, gente ahí, ¿algún nombre se te ocurre?
No, hay muchos peleadores. Los años, Fisiev me encanta cómo pelea, lo viste en Sanford, entrené con él, es muy duro, me gusta su movilidad de pierna, pero no, la verdad que cualquier oponente que me ponga al frente va a ser igual. Nada, estoy listo y estoy emocionado para la persona que me ponga al frente, me voy a preparar fuerte.
I mean, I do understand that in the division, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of good people. I really like Fiziev, so I've actually trained Rafael Fiziev from Florida, and I've been able to see him there. And I like what he does. I mean, the leg movement and how he moves around. I just think it'll be a good fight. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You're gonna get that from me, at any rate. So whoever they put in front of me, that's what you're gonna get from me, man.
Esteban, felicidades en la actuación, felicidades con el contrato. Antes de que otra cosa suceda, ¿cómo te calificas tú de 1 a 10? Obviamente ganaste por nocaut, todo fantástico, pero ¿qué te diste de marca tú mismo?
Esteban, first of all, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the contract. You had the win, but how would you, being sincere with yourself, how would you rate yourself from 1 to 10, and what you saw from yourself tonight?
Si me tengo que poner una calificación, me pondría un 7. No, ¿por qué? Tengo que aprender a salir más concentrado desde más temprano y no tener que recibir un golpe para poder activarme, que eso no está tan bueno, ¿no? Pero es lo que me activa el golpe, pero yo creo que saliendo más concentrado desde el comienzo sería un mejor peleador.
If I had to actually give myself a number, it would be a 7. And why? It's because I think I need to learn how to be more focused to start the fights. I don't want to have to actually get hit in order to, flip that switch and start doing it, which is not a good thing. I had to get hit in order to flip the switch? If there's something that could definitely improve, it would be that.
Agarraste el contrato, el jefe del UFC le encantó lo que diste, la pelea estelar. Pero aparte de eso, Esteban, ¿qué tan importante es en esta época de arte marcial mixta poner a tu bandera en alto con todos los otros talentos que existen, desde Chito Vera, que vimos última semana, Brandon Moreno, que es campeón, y ahora vamos a incluir a usted en esa familia?
You obviously won. You impressed the boss. Everything went great. You were there in the main fight of the card. But what does it mean to you to actually have the flag of the continent? So, I mean, think of what Chito Vera just did. You think of Brandon Moreno, and now we can include you. And welcome to that group. But what does it mean for you to represent that?
Primero que nada, estoy muy orgulloso de poder traer los colores de mi país aquí. Latinoamérica tiene mucho talento. Somos peleadores muy duros. Nos gustan que nos crucen, que nos golpeen. Me uno a las personas que les gusta dar show. Yo creo que este pasito es un poco más de motivación a aquellas personas que la vienen luchando de abajo, más a la Argentina. Que sí se puede. Como dijo Brandon, sí se puede.
It is a source of pride to actually represent the colors of my country and all of the Latin American people. I mean, we have so much talent in Latin America. We like people to cross us so we can fight them because we're going to be there. We like to put on a show, and that's what people like. And I think it sends a message to people all the way down to Latin America, especially in Argentina, that, as Brandon likes to say, yes, we can. And we can, and we're going to continue to do it.
En Argentina ya han habido campeones, nombres, leyendas vivientes: Sergio Martínez, Lucas Matisse, Marcos Maidana, Santiago Poncinibio. ¿Qué es más importante o será? ¿Un día retar por el título o tu legado de que te incluyan en esos nombres y la gente reconozca a ti con tu patria?
From Argentina specifically, we've had Martinez, Maidana. Now we have Poncinibio still, putting on a show for people. What would be more important to you? To actually be a champion, or to have a legacy and be included in that group of people that had this longevity and this career that meant something to the sport?
Obviamente, como cualquier peleador, todos queremos ser campeones del mundo y tener el título, pero yo lo que más me gustaría es tener un legado, que mi nombre se escuche fuerte, y el legado para mí es mucho más importante. Ser uno más de ellos creo que valdría mucho más que el título para mí.
Obviously, every fighter wants to fight to be the champion of the world, but for some reason, for me, the legacy and that my name is remembered by people, that people know who I am, and that I was important to the sport, I think is actually, more important. I understand that, getting to a title is very important, but there's something about leaving a legacy as a fighter and being remembered by that's very important to me.
Finalmente, para mí, Esteban, ¿qué prefieres? ¿Debutar aquí en el Apex o en una arena como T-Mobile, Madison Square Garden, y qué pronto debemos regresar a la jaula en acción?
And my last question, what would be a debut for you like? What would you prefer? To start your UFC career right here at the Apex, or maybe in an arena full of people, perhaps T-Mobile, perhaps Madison Square Garden, and a follow-up to the question, and how soon would you like to fight?
La verdad que cualquier lugar me vendría bien. Lo que sí me gustaría es poder compartir cartelera con algún argentino. Pero después, cualquier lugar y el tiempo, no hay ninguno. Yo ya estoy listo, que me llamen cuando quieran. Voy a estar preparado.
In fact, it doesn't matter where I would fight. I mean, whatever they put me to fight, I will fight, and I'll get ready for that. But obviously, it will be really cool to share space in a card with someone from Argentina. So, with that said, obviously, they can put me to fight wherever, but that would be really good if I got it.
Felicidades y buena suerte con todo.
Muchas gracias.
Esteban, you kept your 100% finish rate. How important is that to you?
Mantuviste 100% de finalización en tu vida. O sea, ¿cuánto importante es terminar peleas así? 100% de las peleas la terminaste.
No es algo planeado, es algo que se da. Entreno duro, al parecer tengo manos fuertes, por lo que se ve, pero no es algo que lo planeo, sino es algo que es fluido, sale de mí y no lo busco, sino que se da.
It's not something that I plan, it's something that happens. I think from the looks of it that I have a heavy hand, and it's really something that I don't look for. I work hard, and it just happens. I mean, the opportunity is there, and it's for the work.
And then finally, for me, El Gringo is your nickname. Who gave that to you?
Tu apodo es El Gringo. ¿Quién le dio eso? ¿Y por qué le dieron este apodo?
El gringo me dicen de muy chico, mi mamá me lo puso, pero honestamente me siento incómodo llamándome el gringo aquí en Estados Unidos.
El Gringo has been with me for quite some time. Actually, my mom gave me that nickname, so I just kind of kept it. But honestly, it feels weird to be called El Gringo here in the United States.
Congratulations.
Felicidades, querido.